Sippers get ready. People get ready. Sippers get ready for tea with me.
Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. What an episode we have today, folks. Before we get into this episode, let me tell you that we are proudly sponsored. Sometimes we don't jump in with a sponsor, but this is a big day because I'm delighted to say that we are now being sponsored by none other than That Prize Guy. And there's a lot of people out there that say The Prize Guy, and I am a lot of time one of those people. That Prize Guy. If you watch Paul Hughes fight in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, plastered all around the ring, That Prize Guy. Some of the big like world heavyweight boxing matches that go out, you see the branding all over the place. You're going, what sort of international company is this? Right here, baby. They are based right here. Prize Guy has made more millionaires in this part of the world than the lottery. I think made 7 millionaires. Like the rate that he's doing it at. He's given away £125 million. It is Ireland's biggest prize site, and everyone knows it. Everyone talks about it. Your granny enters it. Sometimes we prize for wee cheeky things, you know. Sometimes he'd be like, here, 9p if you want to win a lawnmower here. But then other times he'll go, for £1 million cash, enter this. And it's not like when you see the lottery, you have no idea who these people are. You probably know someone who's won massive on That Prize Guy. You can go to thatprizeguy.co.uk to see what they're currently giving away. Listen to this for a sentence. The next millionaire they're going to make is on the 23rd of February. Just making millionaires. What a time to be alive.
£2.99. £2.99 just to enter. That's
You're effing joking me, Dan. £2.99. £299?
No. £2.99.
Jeepers, oh. That's madness. Thatprizeguy.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining us as a sponsor. Before we get into this episode, I need to tell you that we're doing the SSE Arena on the 23rd of May. It's a Friday night. It's going to be a great time. You can see some of the recent podcasts we've done on Patreon. We just did 2 shows at the end of last year at the Waterfront Hall. They're up there. There's a load of old free ones on YouTube, like the SSE Arena, other ones at the Waterfront, the Limelight.
Some of the lineup ones are only behind the paywall because
they're cheeky.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/TeamMe podcast if you want all the bonus content. What was it, Fusty?
Lazy Boys.
Lazy Boys. And we do Lazy Boys some Fridays as well with me, Mickey Bartlett and Willie T. But the SSE Arena show, we've extended the hall to make it even bigger because we've sold a hell of a lot of tickets and they're flying out. So you can get tickets on Ticketmaster or in the description of this episode. My guests today are none other than Mark Nelson and Milo McCabe. Mark's been on before, phenomenal Scottish comedian, a comedian that comedians absolutely love. Like everyone, when you say you're having Mark on or whatever, Mark's great. What a guy. I talk about the little beef we got into at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And Mark has got a special out on BBC, on BBC iPlayer, which you can watch for free. You watched it, didn't you?
Yeah.
He watched it. Absolutely brilliant. Go check it out. And Milo McCabe is sometimes known as TroyHawke, the internet sensation that is the head of the Greeters Guild. You've definitely seen these videos where he's in the purple kimono, like silk smoking jacket. Just greeting people literally all around the world, standing outside shops and just complimenting people. What a massive thing that has become. Milo does that live, so TroyHawke does massive live tours, and that's why we've got the guys on the pod because they're in Belfast doing a show at the Limelight. Me and Milo are meeting for the first time, kinda said hello to each other at the Fringe Festival before, but this first time had a proper chat with them. 2 absolutely top guys, 2 brilliant comics. Please enjoy this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with my guests Milo McCabe and Mark Nelson. You alright?
This is over.
It's been a journey to get here, you know.
Yeah.
A couple of cancelled taxi journeys. You got here, and then you got a mad taxi driver, which is great. I think we have 1 taxi driver at the minute in Belfast. Like there used to be loads, and we got. It sounds like also like some of the taxi drivers here, the guy will focus on talking about this thing, which is pretty mental, or another driver talk about this thing, but it feels like the guy you got covered all bases.
Well, they
nice.
seemed very insistent that they wouldn't pick us up unless the other one had been cancelled.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that
which
was
is like good etiquette.
That is
it was
good.
a different firm as well.
Yeah.
So that's
the
kind of
first
nice.
guy came through and he went, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Here." And he goes, "I can't. I've got to pick the wife up." and
Every
already-
actor in a Belfast film, not from Belfast, that is the accent.
Did you think you were going to get praised for
No,
that?
I thought I'll go for it now. I'll see how it comes out. I'll try and break.
To be
the
fair,
ice.
it's better than like so many. Like at the minute, there's a series I haven't seen about the SAS and the guy who like.
Oh,
the
he's
SAS.
awful. Yeah.
Well, I've seen him and stuff. Great actor, cannot do that. Just puts that.
I'm gonna
puts people off
have
so
another
much.
go later on. I'll build up.
Yeah.
I'll take more of a run up to it.
Yeah. I didn't think it was offensive. I just. You know,
All right, cool.
I think it was nice.
Yeah.
You know, but
I was offended.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough to be offensive. It wasn't like
no, I think
it was just nothing.
Yeah,
It was just.
But I
yeah.
also don't think it's an accent you need to you don't need to perfect
I love it.
I don't
I
think it's
do.
going to give you anything.
I
No.
do. I love it. I love the accent.
You'll do it on stage.
I will
tonight.
do it on
Yeah,
stage
yeah,
tonight,
yeah.
and invariably being in character and in front of people.
Yeah.
I imagine it will give me a bit more
Yeah,
gusto,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll pull something slightly better than that pathetic, embarrassing.
No.
fucking
Listen,
Attempt out of the bag.
speaking of embarrassing, do you know me and Mark had like we nearly had an internet beef.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Seriously,
Well, no, well, kind of.
an actual beef.
So during the Fringe, I've had we met at this point? No.
Yeah, but yeah, we had. I'd been
met-
on this. Yeah.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
after you'd been on
Yeah.
the pod. So Mark had been on the pod, which was the first time we
Yeah.
met. We chatted before, but never met. We just we sexted before, but
Yeah,
we never met.
yeah.
We catfished each other for a couple of years, and then we met. And at the Fringe, then I put up a picture with like 4 other Irish comics, and we all kind of ran into each other. And then it was like, oh, we got a photo, some caption about like a boy band kind of thing. And Mark wrote, and Mark knows everyone in the picture, and wrote, "Fucking state of this." I responded under that and wrote, "Mark, please delete this." Obviously, as a joke. DM 2 minutes later from the big man. He's like, "Mate, I am from the bottom of my heart. I'm so sorry. I'll delete the comment." Like the most genuine response.
Oh,
to
he's such
anything.
a softie.
Oh,
No,
I felt so. Everyone felt terrible. I was
Yeah.
like, I feel bad now. He feels bad.
I was in the middle of the house move, so I've slept about 2
Are you
hours.
trying to tell
and
me
about-
you're not sensitive?
No, I am
I've known
sensitive,
you.
but I didn't want to insult. I don't like insulting people that I like and respect. Like I'll say anything to you, but like I'm not. But I was just like. Oh, because every other comment was so nice. It was like,
boys
oh
are
my-
looking well.
Oh my
Hope the
God,
shows are
yeah.
great.
What a laugh this must be. What a team. And I just went, fucking state of this.
Oh yeah, you do. You can misplay it sometimes. Like we got our tour manager. She's walking along, and we'll be like taking the piss out of each other. Me and with comics, you can sort of like if him or Colin are telling a story, but like that never happened. You know, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And then Anna's telling this perfectly innocent story. I'm like, all of that is lies. And she's like, no, you can fucking phone her, properly getting offended.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do forget, you know, you take a punt sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you know, make it awkward. But sometimes if you take a punt and really take the piss and it lands, you sort of get a fast forward on being matey.
Yeah,
So
that's
sometimes
true.
it's worth it.
Yeah.
Sippers, let me very quickly interrupt this podcast to let you know that we are sponsored by none other than NordVPN. What is a VPN? It's a virtual private network. Does a load of different things. Say there's somebody who doesn't even understand what that is, unlike me. What that means is you can get threat protection on your phone when you join public Wi-Fi spots. This protects you against people stealing your details. You can also hide your location on your phone and trick your phone into thinking you're somewhere else. So if you're trying to buy cheaper flights, you're trying to access like Netflix content or something from a different country, you can do all that with NordVPN. And you go, but I have a laptop, a phone, and 8 kids. NordVPN, you can put that on 10 devices, 1 account, 10, everyone's happy. Go to nordvpn.com/teawithme. The link is in the description, and that gives you 4 extra months on a 2-year plan. There's no risk with their 30-day money-back guarantee. The link again is in the description. When I say a 30-day money-back guarantee, they guarantee they'll have your money back in 30 days if you're not satisfied. I used this when I was in Mallorca to watch some football on BBC iPlayer. Don't be telling anybody. So I can highly recommend it. We're also sponsored by none other than our great friends at Manscaped. Those wacky pube shaving guys. I was going to say bastards, and I was like, I don't know how they feel about that. But they love it. They absolutely love the male grooming game. They've got everything you can think of and things you never could fathom. The Lawnmower 5.0, which is for your, Dan, can we say this on the podcast? Your pubic region?
I think so.
I think I was part of the Soviet Union. They have the chairman. Can I say, I thought that would tickle Fausti and it didn't. They have the chairman.
Chairman Pro.
The chairman pro. This guy is not amateur. He's pro.
Also could be a Soviet leader.
The chairman pro could. And it's for your head, isn't it?
It's for
Your head, your face. Your face, but you're using your head.
Your
That's
beard.
beauty. Here, don't be afraid to experiment with Manscaped products. I'm saying it's for your face. You can use it in your head. You only use that in your arms. Shave your arms. You can use it. They've got colognes. They've got little things for your ears, little things for your nose. They've got everything. Manscaped.com. Use the code TWithMe for 20% off and free shipping. As always, where's the link? It's in the description. Thought I would get that back. It's in the description. Let's get back to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with Milo McCabe and Mark Nelson. How do you guys travel? Like, do you like doing the same things when you tour? Because it's very important to me who I'm touring with. Like, we got to do some things together, and then there's got to be like some of our own time. I like activities.
He's Captain Fun for me. So if ever there's
Mark?
oh yeah, believe it or not.
I don't mean that in a rude way, but like, I don't have you down as Captain Fun.
No, you're making it sound like I organised fucking paintballing and shit. No,
He's like a grumpy Van Wilder. He's like he's Captain Party. He's always up for it. Yeah, just like thinking. Yeah, firstly he's brilliant, obviously. And
we have lunch. We have lunch every time we do it. Yeah.
We talk about dad shit in the day, and then we go out and get hammered at night.
Yeah.
I like best of both worlds.
I tour with William Thompson quite a lot. I don't know if you know
He's
William.
Great. I met him last. We met. Him last time
he came out last time we were here. He came out. Yeah.
Like we'll do like a joint activity and then our own activity. Like he's big into like meeting animals. Like so say we're in Dubai. He's like, I'd like to meet. Because you can do like a penguin experience.
Oh yeah.
So but he always uses the term meet, which is odd. Like when we were in Australia, he's like, I'm off to meet a kangaroo.
Yeah.
Like very odd about that. But I like my own time and then some joint time as well.
But how does he get to then read when you want to be by yourself? Does he pick up on signals, or do you have to have a little code and you go, I'm having a bit of shame
Daddy needs
time.
his own time.
Yeah.
He's like, because William's a lot younger than me, I just like, I'll send him off with a bit of money. Go and enjoy your, half an hour, or I'll sit down for something to eat, and if there's an arcade or something, I can give him a couple of pound coins and he'll, that's an hour, he's happy enough.
Just stick him in the car and keep the window open. Give him a can of Coke and a bag of crisps every now and again.
I still feel a little bit weird about that. Like if I want half an hour to myself in the dressing room, whatever, and a mate comes in and they're chatting, I'll always feel weird about sort of going, do you want, like...
But you can just redirect them to Captain Fun.
That's it.
Probably
I'm outside
take them 10-pin ball.
With a massive cowboy hat on. Jump on board.
Have you done you're playing at the time we recorded this, you're doing Belfast tonight. Have you gigged in Belfast much before? I know.
We were, what did we do last time? The Limelight.
We did Limelight last time.
Yeah, it was great fun. It was a real good energy, like proper. It's like Glasgow, Liverpool, Belfast, sort of. It's that there's a much better energy. There's like I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm from Surrey, right? So when I go to places with a really strong cultural identity and that sort of energy of like, you're here to see us kind of thing, I really like it. I really like it, wherever it is.
So and just like more up for it?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%, yeah.
You do tend to get people going out afterwards as well.
Yeah.
In cities.
When I was in Dublin last time, me and Richie Bree, I've never been accosted by so many people from the gig who were just sound. Like,
yeah. I don't want to keep you too long. It's just
all
like
of
a quick
that,
chat,
really lovely. And funnily enough, this always happens. They recognise Richie, but they didn't recognise me. So this happened a lot.
After you've been on at your show?
We were in Amsterdam and some Rob Thomas, like some woman, absolutely hammered woman, came up to Rob Thomas and said, "Oh, you're doing the show?" And she's literally looking at me like that, not recognising me, which I get away with it. Do you know what I mean? It's
which
nice.
Is nice in a way.
I love it.
But then a little bit of recognition for the fact that they've seen your they've just seen you for an hour.
No, man, I'm quite.
Because you don't want to pick up on the wrong
Yeah.
thing. They're like, the sport act, you were great, but that main guy, like,
Yo, imagine.
not great. And then you have to go in with it. You know, you're just doubling down on
There
it.
was a situation last night, right, where we came out. So Richie had been on, and then I went on, and Richie went out in the break, and he was standing outside, and this woman who'd travelled, I found out today, from Cornwall to see the show.
How did you find out?
Because I went on her fucking Instagram.
You started stalking her?
Yeah, listen, you have no idea what I'm about to do to her. Richie's talking to her outside, and she was like, "Oh, you were great, you were amazing. Hey, I'm really hoping Troy will be around later on. Maybe we'll go out for a drink because it's my birthday at midnight." And Richie's like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, fucking calm down, Cinderella. It's not like... So then she sprinted along the road as we were leaving the venue. Noticed Richie, then saw it was him. So she was like, she got them both in for a photo. And Milo said... "Oh, do you want to get Mark in it?" And she just went, "No."
And he'd started to come over, and he could see the little heartbreak in his eyes. So a moment before they hardened up again.
So, because sometimes you can get that moment where like a sport act really kills. Like I was telling you before we record this, I've been gigging with Jordan Robinson, a local act, doing like this Ireland leg of the tour, and he's killing so much that he does a joke when he's going to bring me on, where he goes, "Guys, Shane's not here. I'm just going to do another hour." And normally it's like, okay, but there's been a couple instances where the audience are like, no problem with it. They're like zero issue with that if you want to do an hour.
That's amazing.
But he's been killing. But I love traveling with other comics, because sometimes, like when I've done America before and things like that, the idea seems great, especially like us, if you have kids, you're like, couple of weeks, this will be great, and then you're just playing football manager and yourself.
Yeah.
Did you find the venues provided their own support acts and stuff like that?
Yeah,
I
and
think a few of them do it like
and
that.
it's so 50-50.
Yeah.
It's like some I'll use this year. I'll be like, "Can you come back and do it?" Because that was great. And then some, it just like the act just doesn't match up with what you're doing, or I don't know. I read the sales report. I got my first sales report, so my gigs were in 2 months, and I read the numbers out to the guys.
Oh, when are you on the East Coast? In 2
I do
months?
East and West.
I'm doing it in
March?
in 2 months. April, I think.
Ah, okay. I read my sales report numbers out, and God,
I'll pick up.
Canada's great.
What size venues are they?
Far too big. Like, like some of these, if they were a 9-seater, would be ambitious.
Hoping the fires reach some of those LA venues.
That's what's wrong. Mark. Thank you for that. You're right. Even though it's been on sale for months, the fires is why. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why the fires in California are why no one's coming to this Philadelphia gig. That makes total sense. I just like doing it. Like I sell well on the East Coast because probably there's a big Irish population there. West Coast not as well at all, but it's, if you're there, you may as well go do those, and then I'm happy to like slowly build those up. Have you been over before?
I did San Francisco, and I did LA and New York. I love San Francisco. It's
great.
a club called Cobb's.
That's where I play.
Have you done it?
That's the one where, for me, it's like on the West Coast, it's always good.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about. I nearly go to the West Coast just to do Cobb's.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's the best green room of any comedy.
Yeah, with all the Polaroids, the comics and stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think I'm doing, where am I doing? I'm doing like Chicago, Philadelphia. I'm filming my special, I think, in Washington. So I'm going to film it in the States.
Tell me it's not in the DC Comedy Loft. No disrespect to the DC Comedy
I
Loft.
don't know. I'm not sure. Why is it? Does that suck? Is it bad?
I had a room that I played the room there. There was a guy who's been to see me on 3 different continents. He travels with work, so he just comes to these shows by himself. And he came to the Dubai show, and I said, what was the last gig you were at? He said Washington. And I went, ooh. And I'm waiting for him to go, man, it was actually great, don't worry about it. And he was like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the worst thing to happen there since the insurrection.
Do you give yourself a hard time after shows? Because I do, but sometimes I find it's more how I'm feeling. Like if I'm not happy, or if I'm like, the show probably doesn't change that much.
It takes me a couple of days to know whether I liked it or not.
Really?
A lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Like I'll come off and go, I don't know whether that was good or not. Despite reaction of audience, I go, I don't know. And then I'll take a little bit of time to think about it, and then I'll just be sitting doing something else and go, oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Or no, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. weird like that?
No, I'm the same, and it's hard because you're doing the same show. And no matter how you feel or how you think it's gone, it's
Yeah.
only going to be 5% or 8% different.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
would really notice.
Yeah.
But for you, it's fucking night and day, isn't it? You
Yeah,
come
yeah.
off and you're either elated or miserable as sin.
Even when it's good, I don't know about you guys, but I don't understand the adrenaline. I have no adrenaline after a show.
Really?
I feel I feel like a mass murderer sense of calm.
That's why you need fucking Captain Funnel on. Just
Get
give
the
us
twister mat out.
0800 FUN and I'll be there.
No, I feel like even if a show goes great, I just feel like I'm happy after it, but
Yeah.
I can go to sleep straight away.
Really?
Right, what about
Oh,
man.
What about before?
The only nerves I get are when I or someone else is calling my name out to the audience and they walk to the microphone.
And that's it. Just a little burst there,
That's
and
it.
then you're in.
Yeah. I feel excited and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, I don't feel nothing. But after I finish, I'm just like, I'm very relaxed.
Yeah.
I said have a cup of tea and go home.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Speaking of specials, your special came out in BBC, and I was going to
Yeah.
say I couldn't believe that only from the fact that like but I mean like you're not like an ultra clean comic at all,
No.
and I would assume they would only have stand up on like that, and then I saw you talking about it a little bit and saying like you were surprised they didn't censor it
I was
as much
amazed.
as they did it.
I was amazed at some of the stuff that was in it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've not watched it, but my
Really?
wife, my wife watched it when it went out. Because it went out the Sunday just before Christmas, and she came. So I was like, right, I'm just going to go up the stairs. I don't want to listen. I don't want to see if you're laughing. I'm just going up the stairs. I'm going to listen to music and do whatever. And then she came out and she was like, I honestly cannot believe some of that stuff was in there.
Yeah.
And it was somebody told me about doing, when you were doing that kind of stuff, they used to do it in panel shows and stuff like that. If you ever, Frankie Boy used to do it, I'm pretty sure as well. If you're wanting a joke in, always do a couple that you know will never, ever, ever get in. And then when you go, right, we want that in, present them with the really harsh stuff. And then they go, no.
Yes.
Like, all right, but they feel like you've given them something. You've given some bit of leeway.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
stuff that you were actually wanting in gets sneaked in as well.
Yeah.
So
I do that with videos all the time. I'll leave a few bits that I know are dog shit, just so that whoever I'm getting to sign off the thing can have a bit of editorial control.
Well, that's something I was going to ask you as well. So I remember Sacha Baron Cohen talking about like when he interviewed people for Ali G and stuff. He would talk to them for quite a long time and then slip in some of the more mad stuff.
Yeah.
Do you do that as well? I mean, your interactions are pretty quick because
Nah.
you're passing somebody.
No, I'm just banging down.
So it's
there.
what you see.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, basically.
And have you had instances where something's great, like you have a great interaction, and then the person's like, "What's the camera here? I don't want to use it." Have you had stuff you've not been able to use?
Oh, absolutely.
That you're like that, but that's gold.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
100%. And I've sort of honoured it as well.
Yeah.
I did a video for the Surfers Against Sewage. So basically it was like a protest video about all the water bosses, because water's privatised and it's run for profit, and that they've got this huge hole because they paid all the shareholders, and they got me to stand outside this conference where it was happening, and this guy came in, recognised me, didn't know what was going on, and basically like verbally like threw everybody under the bus.
Right.
Gave these people that were recording everything they wanted in one soundbite, and then he saw the mic and he suddenly he goes, "Are you recording?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he blanched and he's like, "I'm gonna lose my job, I'm gonna lose my business," and at that point I'm like, "No, don't worry, all right, fine."
Yeah,
like it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
proper gotcha thing, but
more for that guy for like just assuming the opposite, which is that you're in all your gear,
Yeah.
just hanging about.
yeah.
Well, this is it. Like, of course,
Are you recording or just walking around?
Yeah. But no, people on the street, like,
No, I'm just going to get milk, bro.
generally, like, no, like, if it's just one of my own videos, like, I'll never really make anyone look bad. Like, if people make themselves look bad, but
Yes, and,
You know.
and the joke always is like you know, you're wearing this gear, like your character is sillier than this
Yeah.
person is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't rely on them really saying anything either, so you're not mocking them in any way.
yeah.
What about like physical stuff?
Oh,
Like,
have I
you
ever
had-
been?
Yeah, yeah.
No, only Derek Chisora. Like
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
That was it.
Yeah.
And that was.
Did he ask you? Did he ask you to repeat what you said?
No, so basically what happened was he came past and I said, "Sir, you look adorable."
Yeah.
And then it was microseconds, right? He goes, "Call me adorable again, I'm going to fuck you up."
And you did?
I started my sentence before I'd processed what he'd said, right? So I was... Because I'd say, "Sir, you look adorable, you're the most adorable tablecloth." That's what I had
that's
queued
right.
up in my head, right? "Sir, you look adorable. Call me adorable again, I'm going to fuck you up. But you're the most adorable." And at that point, I've then processed what he said. So I've stopped, right?
Yeah.
But it also sounds like a complete sentence.
Yeah.
But you're the most adorable.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I'm being incredibly brave, which I'm not.
Yeah.
We were just he was so quick and I was so quick. And then the pair of us were just stood there.
Yeah.
And then Steve Bunce, right?
Yeah, I know Steve Bunce.
Saw what was going on, and I'd had a chat with him earlier, and we got on, and he went, "Derek," like, grabbed him, and as he's turning away, I went, "Fuck it. You're the most adorable you're the most dangerous tablecloth." Because I'm like, at this point, Steve Bunce is walking him away.
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of calculated, I don't think he would like punch me. I think he might just slap me or
Headlock or something.
push me through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking thing. Fine.
Yeah.
Do you think he knew what adorable meant?
I'm pretty sure,
You know what I
like,
mean? Like, it might not.
yeah, like I actually I feel like he's got no sort of filter.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no edit between
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
and I don't know. I tend to quite like people like that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
come out with the first fucking thing.
Yeah.
They you know.
I remember like when you repeated it, I love that. I was
That's
like,
so
that's
fun.
great.
Total accident.
That's
like,
great,
total
yeah.
The guy
accident.
with the security guard in Cannes was good as well, though.
Oh my
I
god,
loved
that guy. So I don't know if you saw the Cartier video. So basically, it was the bougiest shop on the bougiest street in Cannes, and they had these guys outside that looked like FBI guys, and it was just it was kind of like they were like a human fuck you.
Yeah.
They were like a human. You can't afford to be in this shop, right? Sort of sunglasses, like
Yeah.
fucking stood there, and I just thought, oh no, fuck that, right? I'm gonna go and do this thing. And the guy got really sort of frustrated with me. He was French and he didn't know what I was doing, but I was actually getting people in the shop.
Right.
And we were sort of going back and forth, and I'm telling him, so I've been sent by Jan Molby, like, you have to take it up with him.
Liane Mulby.
Yeah, he was like, and he's on his thing going, there's a guy in here welcoming people in. And he goes, you're going to have to move. And I said, I can't do that, I'm afraid. And he goes, I'm going to speak to my man. And anyway, a manager comes out, right? And I'm talking to the manager, and she's just like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, stay there, whatever. And this dude has got so angry because all of his authority's been taken away from him. And then it was this thing where I felt him get like itchier and itchier and itchier. And I didn't want to like provoke him. I didn't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, he was complaining about me as I was welcoming a customer into Cartier. I just tapped him on the shoulder and went, the customer's coming. He's like, no touche pas. He's like raging. And it got to the point where I thought, this dude might actually attack me. So,
Yeah.
well, anyway, we ended it. I put it up online. And I got this message off of him. And he went, you need to remove the video.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean? My boss is on at me. I'm going to get fired. I said, well, if I remove the video, I'm going to get fired. My boss is going to be furious. And he's like, yeah, but I said, you didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then he's like, I'm going to get fired. It's going to be your fault. I said, if you get fired, I said, me and Jan, we are going to make such a big thing of this. I said, we're going to put Cartier to the sword. You were great, as you were. And then he's like, if you don't remove, he goes, you've got to remove it. And I'm like, why? And he goes, because of my reputation. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I've had hundreds of people message me, even English people. Even English people. And then I just said to him, I was like, look, dude, like in character. This is all in character.
Yeah,
I'm
of
talking
course.
in character, and I'm going through a French translator. And we're going back for hours. Like I've got like 300 messages with this guy.
Even
and
just to talk online in character, do you put the
in French,
you put the
online,
dressing
in
room
French.
on?
Yeah. Draw
in the
on
house.
the draw
Yeah.
on the tash. Like get fucking so wife and kids. So I'm arguing with an egg for half an hour. And yeah, and we went back and forth. And he's going, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police. I said, I'm going to call the police if you don't remove it. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Jan's not a morning person. I'm not bringing this up with him. I would rather face the French gendarmes than have to deal with my boss with his morning head on. And then I just said to him, look, there's even during these messages, you've talked down to me, you told me what to do. Same, I say, if you'd at any point treated me like a human, this might have gone a bit better. And I would suggest that in future, maybe just lighten up a bit, and I'll tell you what, how about this? Next time I come to Cannes, I'll hire you to be my bodyguard. And he's like, negative, like furious. And I'm like, no, come on, I'll pay you. We'll make a bit of money. And anyway, you'll look cool because you'll look like you're in on the joke.
Yes,
and then
of
he was
course.
like, oh, and it was an ego thing. And then he was
Right,
like,
right,
all right,
right.
we'll look like we set it up.
Yeah.
You'll be... And in the end, I was like, you never know, we might end up being friends. And he's like, yeah, lol, whatever, but I'm still going to police tomorrow. And I'm like, fine. But if I go back to Cannes, I am going to hire this guy. I'm going to try and pay this guy to be my bodyguard.
Yeah.
But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get someone else to be a bodyguard for my bodyguard.
Derek's
So
a
I
door.
might have a chain of bodyguards. But yeah, like I feel bad on that guy if he was getting, but he
wasn't going to lose his job.
No, he didn't do anything wrong.
But the fact
he was
that
just
you-
a bit moody and a bit muggy.
The fact that you get a fictional boss involved, I showed my wife one of the videos today where you're in a supermarket and a guy obviously comes up to you. He's like, "You're not allowed to be here." You say, "My boss, Jan Mulbies, has agreed this." The guy, clear bullshitter, gets on his walkie-talkie, tells his boss, and then he's like, "Yeah, that's agreed."
Yeah.
As in, like,
Yeah.
no one, like, they're all bluffing.
No
He's
one
like,
gives
yeah,
it-
of course.
Yeah. I'm bluffing him. There's probably nobody on the end of the walkie-talkie anyway.
Have you done man on the street stuff in Glasgow much?
No. I know. I did.
I mean, I feel like it would go a different way.
I did do a shoot in Glasgow where I was giving away free holidays to people, right? But I had all these holidays to give away. I was at this stall. And I couldn't get a conversation going with anyone. All I had to do was start a conversation with someone about to give them a free holiday. And everyone was just like, no, you're out of eat. Fuck off, no. Fucking, do you know what I mean? They saw the accent and and they're like, this fucker's going to try and sell me a timeshare. I'm not falling for his shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, timeshare in 1950. Mark, have you ever done man on the street stuff in Glasgow? Like, have you ever foxpot people? And...
Not really, actually, because it's, well, I don't know, I think Glaswegians are approachable, but you would need to, I think you'd need to meet them with the same level of what they're at, because your character, like, it isn't an attractive proposition for Glaswegian people.
Do you not think?
No. The minute they hear the accent and the minute they see, I mean, they won't have what the cunt wearing a dressing gown for? Like, they'd be like, so yeah. But I'm surprised that, I'm surprised that you didn't get any. You didn't give away any holidays.
I gave them away in the end.
Where were they
But
going?
It was Malaga, Tenerife, just
See, that's what you needed to open with.
Yeah.
The minute you say that, you could have been dressed like Hitler and they would have approached you. Like,
I got so much shit from a guy in the street. Not felt like when I was a child. We were at a family wedding in Glasgow. Was there a place called the Thistle Hotel?
yeah.
Right, so I walked down Sucky Hall Street to go to HMV, and there was like a guy with no legs busking. And I come out of HMV, and I think this guy, like, I had like a tenner to buy an album. I think he was annoyed that I wasn't supporting local artists like him. So I came out with an album, like a wee HMV bag. And he's like, "What's in that?" And I was terrified. I was like, I was maybe 11 or 12 at this point. I was like, Craig David, Born to Do It. Or no, it was the second album from with What You Flavour as the lead song. So Craig's in a white vest on the front. And I was like, Craig David. And the guy just called me a gay wee man. And I was like, just walked on. Gay wee man.
I've been insulted by a homeless person.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was coming out of Central Station one day and there was someone sitting just outside it, and it was a woman as well. And she said, if you get any spare change? And I went, sorry, I don't have any. And she just goes, I bet you do, you fat bastard. And I was like, what?
But was she right?
She was, I did. I got fucking loads. But I was going to Greg's. So.
Has it got easier to stay in character as time goes on? Like when you first started doing this, would you have corpsed more, or has that always stayed the same?
I got this weird thing where I can kind of like get into it and sort of be pretty firm into it. I'm pretty good at not corpsing, weirdly. Like I've got I don't know, there's something in my brain that sort of keeps me focused on it. But
what was the first video? I mean, I remember from Fringe years ago, I remember the character, but obviously years later I saw the video. So what made you go, oh, this might actually work as like a video piece instead of just a live act?
So weirdly, it goes back to like 2014. So when I first made the character, his backstory was that he worked at Wilko's.
Yeah.
So
which is we don't have it here, but it's like a UK.
Like a Woolworths or a
bit of everything kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Just all cheap stuff. So I got a Wilko's fleece. I made my own fleece. And I went in and I had a cameraman, and I just said to him, like, we'll probably be gripped after 5 minutes. Let's just get a couple of minutes of me sort of making out like I'm working here, whatever. And then staff members were walking past me, and I was dressed as Troy, so I had a cravat, tash, hair, everything, and a Wilko fleece. But staff were just walking straight past me, barely even looking at me, like, oh, there's a new guy.
Yeah.
He's a bit odd looking. And then I was literally working in the shop for an hour, right? Folding up towels, like helping customers, like guiding people. And I knew the shop, I'd been in there a lot, so I knew what I was doing. Like I was guiding people to the right places. But we're in there an hour, and then we filmed direct to camera. I got the cameraman to sort of come out of hiding, direct to camera on the garden furniture in the middle. I was like, I just wanted to get kicked out. The footage I want was for them. So we went for coffee, and he goes, my cousin who was filming, he goes, why don't you greet people at the door, because then they can't really ignore you. So I was like, all right, cool. So then I was greeting people by the door, and the manager came out, and she goes, oh, I didn't get a welcome to Wilco. I said, I don't know, I've been sent here, like, you know, I'm from the Kingston store. And I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And I'm like, how do you get done for impersonating Wilco's? So we were about to give up, and then suddenly the GM comes out with his big Sean Dyke purple hair. And it was like, great, we got the footage. Anyway, so it's 2014 and people like the video, but I used it to like push a Edinburgh show. And then I started making videos in lockdown, like to camera stuff, and I ran out of ideas. So I cut up some old stuff, and I was cutting this one up, and I thought the best stuff is when I'm at the door. So I just put it out, and then B3RN_1 just goes, why don't you do this at other places as a comment. Yeah. You know, got like 1 million views, and only had about 3,000 followers or something. It just goes, why don't you do this at other places? And I was like, why don't I? Yeah. So I had some gigs in Macclesfield the next weekend. I just found out I was cameraman and went, just, I know it sounds weird, just fucking sit there, hide, film me outside this shop. And then that was how that sort of started. And so it all kind of like rolled on from there, from video to video.
That's so interesting, like the using the old stuff again, because exactly the same, like during COVID, I was like, I have probably years worth of stuff that back in the day nobody really saw it, and it was just a case of like putting subtitles on it and re-uploading it. And not everyone hits, but it like suddenly brings in like new people, and you made loads of content during lockdown as well. It was like a weird opportunity to have loads of people looking at your stuff.
Because you were making stuff that you would never have thought of making before, which was good. Where do you hide the camera, man?
Well, I mean, my current dude's like, he's like 6'5", so can't really hide him. But you know, if you get someone with a viewfinder that they can look down on, they can sort of. But to be honest, like now, if they're just following me down the street, I don't even sort of bother.
But how difficult has it become though, with so many people knowing the character? Like that must present its own challenges with people who Because ideally, you maybe want people who, not that they don't want to be on camera,
Yeah.
but you don't want someone who's like, oh, this will be, you know,
Yeah, I can.
someone who's too in on it.
Yes, yeah, because none of it's like faked or anything. Even on like branded stuff, they're like, "Oh, can we do this?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah.
Because I think people can tell if something's organic and real.
Yeah, definitely.
You just sense that. You sense when it is, and you sense when it isn't.
Yeah.
But no, generally I don't know. I thought it would, like, what I really miss is the outright confusion of the early days, which I get less.
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
do get a bit, but oftentimes though, I go to places with a lot of old people who maybe don't have access to apps,
Yeah.
but they aren't going, what the fuck? They're going, oh, you look nice.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
dress
yeah,
nicely. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah. I find it difficult to. I would haven't in years. Like around the time of Freshers, I had a character from a long time ago. Not totally dissimilar, like an affluent guy from, cause this town your taxi driver was telling you, it's like kind of like well-to-do, large parts of it. So I had a character from maybe, what are we talking, 15 years ago? That long ago? And I would have done videos with freshers.
yeah.
Where I would interview freshers. This guy didn't like people from the
I think
countryside.
I've seen that.
It's like every year. I would have done it maybe once a year, and then
Yeah.
some other things around it. So it's just like it was like a rugby playing middle class guy.
That was really good.
Oh, thanks for that.
I'm sure I've
Thanks a
seen
lot.
that. It's really bringing it.
Yeah,
like,
I'd still upload the odd thing
Yeah.
from it. So probably you might have seen
Yeah.
some. But I'm really awkward. Michael filmed a lot of stuff. I would tell you, I can't just go out and start vox popping people. I almost need to like psych myself up for it.
Yeah.
The first hour, I wouldn't go up to anybody. I'd like, you know, be like, they look great. Like, you go talk to them. I'd chicken out. But people assume because you do stand up,
Yeah.
you can do it,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So were you, from when you started doing this?
Yeah.
Did you find that easy to go and just approach people?
No, before the B&Q one, I had a full fucking panic attack, and I had to drag myself into the shower and like text the cameraman. Every part of my body was like, why are you putting yourself through this? The big adrenaline sort of dump, and every part of my body was saying, don't. And I was like, no, fuck it, I've got to do it. So I texted the cameraman and said, yeah, come meet me, got in the shower. And then if it's weird because that was the one that sort of properly like spiked things up. So if I'd have given in to that sort of fear or whatever at that point, I probably wouldn't have got some of the other stuff. But I love that though. Like, I think I used to, when I started being a comic, I would do 1 gig a month, which I was a MC for my own night.
Yep.
And I would start getting nervous 3 weeks before, right? And then the second I did this MC thing, I'd feel great for maybe 4 days. And then I would start again.
Right.
I'd start feeling that sickness, but I couldn't stop doing it. So I used to get it so bad, but I couldn't stop. It's almost like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was crippling, but I had to keep doing it. And I think I'm more drawn now to things that you kind of get used to the adrenaline, so you sort of up it a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So you try and push yourself or test yourself or put yourself in.
But it's like, you know, in Edinburgh during the Fringe, there's so many street gigs, street performers and that kind of thing. I look at those people and I'm like, I have no idea how you're doing this.
No.
I don't know how you're not in a room where it's only people who are coming to the show.
Yeah.
The fact that they can just get up and just do this and...
Yeah, how do you set that up where there's only like 3 people standing watching? Hoping that crowd will start to gather. 3 people watching you while you're dressed as a fireman up a ladder, balancing it, juggling chainsaws.
I have thought the same. I fucking kudos to those people. It's amazing.
Yeah. Where's been the worst place you've gone to shoot, like a particular town or city? Like, have you gone to a place and went, either none of this is usable or this was just the wrong place to go shoot this?
Yeah, like, weirdly. So I did one in Salford.
Afghanistan.
Well, to be honest, like, the very first one I tried to do was in Macclesfield, and I was outside a Savers, and I think I've got 15 minutes of footage of me just standing there and fuck all happening.
Right, yeah.
Like, just people are walking past and I'm going, would you like to come to save us? Like, all right. Like, the first one out of the blocks didn't sort of quite work.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's not really a place. It's more like, I don't know, I've got to be in the mood and I've got to feel like I've got the right vibe going.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But what I've found is it's amazing how sort of strangers will respond to a nice vibe, a nice comment, or something that's a bit cheeky or funny, but delivered with a smile. It's like pretty much everyone, the worst I get is sort of blankness.
Yeah.
Most people will smile or they'll be happy. And like, I didn't set out when I was doing the character to have some social experiment where I was going to try and do anything like this. It's sort of like a natural thing that people have picked up on the interaction. But I have noticed that, oh shit, like pretty much anyone's up for a laugh or up for a smile or whatever.
Is the more celebrity red carpet type stuff how you imagined it would be, or is it like, as you look at that and you go, that'd be great, but are those people in general, like those sort of celebrities, are they as up for a laugh as opposed to normal people, or because you like, they're more showbiz, I guess, but then they maybe take themselves more seriously. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there people you look at and you go, I know this guy from this thing, he'll be a great laugh,
Yeah.
or she, and then they're just...
It's always been surprising, the ones I've seen, the celebrity red carpet ones, who's been arsey with you.
Yeah.
People you wouldn't really expect.
And it's as good, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, for the video, if someone's like a great laugh with you, or someone's a bit of a prick, it's that's as good. The content's as good.
Christian Horner was probably he scowled at me.
Who's he?
Christian Horner's
Is he an F1 guy?
F1 guy.
Married to Jerry Halliwell?
Yeah.
Jelly Halliwell.
I told him he looked like Daniel Craig if you're a cricket umpire. And he was just like, really didn't like it. But the dude that booked me for that job had said he's the one guy that you're going to have, you know, he's not going to...
Oh, you already got the heads up.
Yeah, he said everyone else who's going to come through.
Yeah.
And that was cool. It's a guy from Drive. I don't know anything about like F1 or anything.
Yeah.
It's a guy from Drive to Survive, Will something, and he booked me for it. And he basically had a heads up. So he's like, right, well, this driver's coming through in 90 seconds. So I had 90 seconds to just try and come up with something before they came through.
What you're talking about, shooting a special in Washington, do you shoot yours in Glasgow itself?
The one on the BBC, that was in Dumfries, my hometown.
See, the way you say you haven't watched it, did you watch the footage from it?
No.
You were involved in the edit at all?
Not one.
So all you did, you showed up
second.
in the night, did the show, and that's your last involvement with it?
Yep. And that's all I'll ever do with it.
Fucking Jake Paul over here. Right.
No, I just can't. I can't. What? Because I think with the editing stuff, I was worried about... Because I get so self-conscious and so self-critical anyway that I was like, I'll just put myself out of ever promoting it, and I'll just start thinking it's not any good. And then if there are bits that I think should have been in it and then it turns out they aren't, I'll then get disappointed by that. And then when once it's out, I do have that kind of thing, like once it's out, there's not anything I can really do about it. So it's only going to be... I could only really see the negatives of watching it.
Right.
So...
Oh, can I just say, before this, we were testing for live streams, we were testing an intro that would play, and the boys played it to me, and I was like, that's great. I was like, who made that? That's brilliant. It's been the intro to the main podcast for well over a year. I've never seen it. I was like, you thought I was joking. I was like, I've never seen the podcast. But then why would I?
See, that's the point, You're not going to be able to change anything.
I'm the same. I'm somewhere in between that. Like, I'll watch the edit and I'll make like a paper edit and notes, but then I will never watch the full thing back, really.
Yeah.
I would get a little bit weird about that.
Yeah.
If I was doing like sketch or vox pop type stuff, I've no problem watching it. I can watch that loads of times and I'll watch it and appreciate it. But stand up, you're right, I'm kind of
my wife's
weird about it.
My wife's mum was down staying with us at Christmas, and she was there the night it was on, and she was like, so who's coming round to watch the thing? And I was like, oh, no one. Yeah. And she was like, you're not having like a wee party where everyone sits in the room and watches? I was like, I can honestly, like, I would rather wake up in a Ukrainian prison than be in that room. Generally, that is the worst thing I can ever think of. God, it's like when people go to, I suppose Hollywood stars are pretty much different, like film stars. But see when they go and watch stuff when it's released at like Cannes or something, and they sit in a full cinema, and then have to take a standing ovation.
Love it.
Fuck.
The 9 minutes standing ovation at the
Oh
end.
Jesus.
Yeah, that'd be weird. But don't they just come and show their face and fuck off and they don't watch the film?
Yeah.
Or do they? I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know, because they're always there at the end, because that's when it's when the lights come back on, everyone starts standing up, and then
Well, look, if you tell me, if I leave and then you go, there's going to be a standing ovation, then I'll come back. I will come back for the standing ovation. Why Washington? Why are you shooting in Washington?
Just because it seemed like a good idea. Like, so I had all these things, and then this American company came through and went, look, how about we do it? And I said, well, I want it to be a bit like this. And they said, great, let's do it here. And so weirdly, it was that, or shoot something that would look very kind of bog standard specially. And then this, I said I wanted to do something a bit more specific and a bit different.
Yep.
And these people were like right on board with that.
Yeah.
And so I thought, fuck it, like let's do it with these guys in America.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing it over there.
I think less and less, like, I personally want to see less, like, I don't want to see, like, a big, large, generic theatre.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather see, like, some quirky or a little bit different, and especially somewhere different.
Yeah.
I shot
Yeah.
mine on Saturday in a place called County Wicklow, just outside Dublin. I'd never played the room in my life. I just liked the pictures I saw on Google.
What was the
And,
cap? How big was it?
Maybe 120.
Oh, nice.
But we did an early and late show, and the show's up. So I've been doing these towns in Ireland that I've never played before, and I don't know why. Only this year was like, why am I not getting out to way more places in Ireland? I was doing like Dublin, Cork, Galway, but there's so much more. And it was that classic case of, because I've shot stuff before, and the show before it was 10 out of 10, and you're like, if only we had filmed that one, but you can't film them all. But the shows before it in these towns and cities I'd never been to felt great, and then this one was just, the early show was so much fun, but there was like a little bits I left out, and then just luck, the late show was I remembered those bits, so I think it'll cut together nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do hate the idea of watching it back, but I will do it just to make sure. But I hate the idea of watching it back.
But yeah, I think you're right, because so many people release them now. It does get boring just seeing a big room. So quirky wee things.
Yeah.
I think Alan Cochrane did his in like a bookstore or something like that.
Yeah.
And his looks cool. Like, in a smaller room's always going to be.
And you want to feel like you're there. It's hard to get a sense of being there. If
Absolutely,
it's a
yeah.
huge play, but if it's filmed like in the crowd, then it feels a bit more like what the experience is. Washington was a tough one for me last time. The venue was just
Good luck, man.
no. Yeah, but you'll not be in this room, and you'll have a far bigger crowd.
Why was it tough?
They did this happened loads in the tour. They were like, say I'd sold, I don't know, 40. They were like, we have a 40-seater, but you're in the 250-seater, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because we've already booked something in here.
Yeah.
So it's like, we have the perfect amount for this room, but we can't be in that room. And it was a Monday night as well. So you kind of like, you could probably do that in like cities you play, big comedy cities you've played before. But it just felt like the unknown, and it was a Monday, and it just didn't hit for me. But you'll be in a great venue. Like, if they want to film there, obviously it's going to be a perfect venue. And there'll be a good crowd.
Was it April?
I think I need to get hold of. I think
Yeah,
it's April,
it is.
May. Is it?
April at Howard Theatre.
Oh, go ahead.
So Trump will have been in power for 2.5 months by then.
Right.
So you said you would only record a special once he was back in power.
100%, yeah.
You still, that was.
I'm gonna start a
Hello,
rumor.
Dion.
I'm gonna start a rumor on a QAnon website
Go on.
that you're the first infiltration of the British coming to take America again. Because you'll look like someone who was coming to take.
Oh, that colonizer. Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
reading
yeah.
about the American Civil War at the minute. I didn't know a lot about it, but I'm reading a book about it.
I don't know anything about it, but my eldest is.
I don't, and I'm
obsessed
halfway
with
through a book
Hamilton.
all about
Oh,
it.
fucking-
I read books about stuff, and then if you ask me anything about it, I have no idea. But I properly read it. I read a book about Genghis Khan. I know as much as anyone who hasn't read that book. But I want to learn. But the American Civil War one. What's mad is that's not that long ago.
No.
Some of this stuff, like, that's fairly recent history. Mad. It's wild. That's all I know about it. It's fairly recent history, and it was mad. Yeah, North Face.
How was the book, Shane? Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I read a book. I was reading a book about about like the pyramids. Well, it was about tombs in Egypt, and I was 3/4 of the way through it, and I weirdly brought the book into a sauna, but the sauna wasn't, not a steam room. It's a sauna.
I've done it. Yeah.
And there was an old guy in there, and he's like, I've never seen anyone reading a book in a sauna. I was like, first time I've done it, I will not be doing it again. And I was like 3/4 of the way through the book, and he went, what's a book? I hate a conversation in the sauna, by the way. I was like, oh, it's about tombs in Egypt. And he went, all right, interesting. I was like, I have no idea. I knew halfway through it, none of it was going in.
Yeah.
But it seemed interesting,
No, you can't give up.
So
then.
what? You're just sort of tracking the words.
Yeah, I'm just...
Just going left to right and then click.
But I forgot the left or right. That's where I'm fucking up.
You were reading it like the Quran.
Do you not like a chat in the sauna? I always chat in the sauna to fucking everybody.
It depends. A little bit of small talk. I don't want to have an in-depth chat. I don't want to fill the whole time. We could have how you doing, mate? I'll definitely say hello.
Yeah.
But then no more than that.
I think that is the weirdest. A chat in the sauna. That is the weirdest
I did
fucking
weirder than
thing.
that. I've got into gratitude, right? And I got into the habit of Edinburgh. Like you do.
What do you mean? Like the idea of you're practicing gratitude,
saying it out loud,
right?
Basically,
You got into gratitude.
You got into gratitude,
Which is things
yeah.
you're
What do you mean?
things
You
you're
can't get
things you're
into
grateful
an
for.
emotion.
You can get into gratitude. Trust me.
He's from Scotland. He can't.
Do you know what I'm going to get into this year? Paranoia.
What, like ghosts and everything?
No, but do you find that Edinburgh you get Groundhog Day, so you get your routines because you've got to show you
Yeah,
the
of
same
course,
time
of
every
course.
day. So you'd be like, I wake up here, go to the gym there. So I got used to going to the sauna, and I did this thing where I'd say out loud everything I was grateful for, right? And generally it was fine.
Where would you say this? In the flat?
sauna.
Oh, in the sauna.
But it was normally empty because for some reason at the Pleasance gym, there wouldn't be anyone in the sauna. So I'd just say, I'm grateful for my wife, I'm grateful for the kids, grateful I get to do a job. Saying it out loud every day, it's really hard not to be in a good mood after that. But then I came in as this German fella there, and I went, oh, fuck.
I'm going to have to translate this now.
But naturally, bitch. No, I was like,
I'm grateful for World War II victory.
I was like, mate, I know it's going to be weird.
Oh, no, it's weirder that you tell him it's going to be weird. It's less weird you just do
I said, dude, I do this thing every day where I sit in here.
Suck off again.
I sit here and I just list things I'm grateful for and I do it out loud. Like, is that... And he's just like, but what can he say? He's like, no, I'd rather you didn't do that. Like, no, he was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm listing everything, right? And I get to the end and I felt a bit awkward, so I went, well, you give it a go. And he fucking did. But that's it. I know it's weird, but him and me sat there listing things we were grateful for, like total strangers. And I know it's embarrassing and it's weird, but I swear we both came out of that sauna feeling better. Fucking shake your head at me.
Mark, we just couldn't do that.
My God,
just
man. Gee,
Mark, give it a
level
go.
of like,
Mark, give it a go. Give us a couple of things you're grateful for.
on, say
Mark,
it out
please.
no.
Mark, please.
it might
I
feel
have no
nice.
idea. I'm literally stomach is eating my own arse just now. What was he grateful for?
Oh, fuck. I'm bratwurst. I don't know. No idea.
The economic situation. The Bavarian tram system.
I was in Berlin for the first time a couple of weeks ago.
I've not been. Are you performing there?
Yep.
How is it? How are the crowds? Where's expats, right? Or-
It was mainly expats and then some just general Europeans. But it was good. It wasn't. Do you know what it felt like? A grand Fringe show.
Yeah.
So it was like a basement room that held maybe 80. There was about 40 there. Me and Andrew Ryan went, and it was fun. It was great. If the room was packed, it would have been unreal. But it was fun. I'll definitely go back. But there was almost like too much like history to see there. If I have one criticism, they have too much history. There's loads of it. So I
Wasn't that long ago either.
the thing World War II and stuff, not that long ago. And the fall of the Berlin Wall Oh no, the Wall.
The
wasn't
Wall,
that
yeah,
long? There was War in Berlin. But I was going to go and do the tours, but then there was too many, you know. So I put on like a podcast about the history of the place on my AirPods, and then just got a Lime scooter and just went around the corresponding places.
Yeah.
Which felt great.
Did you go to Alcatraz when you were in San Francisco?
Yeah.
It's the best fucking trip I've ever done. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, I'd love to go to that.
There's a hill. It's a bit annoying. Like to walk up to it from the boat. But it was good. It was good.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Starting to see what the prisoners felt like here.
When you're in it and you've got the guided audio
Yeah.
thing, it's a bit eerie.
Oh my god! And you're in the prison yard where Al Capone was, and you're sitting there looking at the same things they did, and they're talking you through the cells where everything. It's the best.
Do you think they escaped, those guys?
Christ.
Or do you think, they successfully escaped? Do you think they died in the war?
It looked like it would be impossible. Like
Yep.
if you stand on that thing and you look at where the nearest landmasses are or whatever, you're just like no chance.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realise was there was an actual community and there was a school.
Yep.
And all of that was going on.
The
on
officers'
island.
families and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. They had like
Yep.
a school and there was hundreds of them.
Yeah. I remember just being in there thinking, like, I'd hate to be a prisoner here.
Yeah.
Or anywhere. But there seemed especially difficult.
Yeah.
Because they said if there was like a boat club near there or something, some like high society place, and if the wind was blowing a certain direction, you could hear people partying from not
Wow.
that far away.
Yeah,
So you'd
yeah.
just be in there like not having a great time.
Jesus.
But it was great. I like to go and do, like, especially when I'm in America, I'll go do a tour. I like doing a bus tour. You know, the big red bus tour.
That sounds good, actually.
And then I see what I like, and then I'll go and investigate that.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I just stay on the bus. You know, you can just follow tour guides around, like walking
Yeah.
tours. You don't have to pay on.
For it.
You can just follow the group.
Yeah, you just stand a
'Cause
wee
it's
bit back
free co-
because you can hear everything as well. Yeah.
Like, it's not illegal.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
one of those things that feels illegal.
Yeah.
It's like walking along the street
An
with
adrenaline
cereal. Feels illegal, but it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like talking to a guy in a sauna.
Are you doing the whole tour together? Like all the UK and Ireland?
No, these are
No,
just two off.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I've got loads of different people that I bring out.
You don't have
so-
Captain Fun though?
No. Sometimes, yeah, I'm
You
not.
get off too much.
No, but if we're sort of staying over somewhere and we're going to go out and have a drink,
Yeah.
it's definitely like you or Elliot or
Yeah.
someone like that. Like,
Do you shoot nearly everywhere you go on tour, or is it less these days?
some places, like...
Have you done Belfast?
I haven't shot in Belfast, but...
Few people
no,
have.
I have shot in Belfast. Yeah, I did. I did a thing on the Stena Line boats a couple of weeks back when I was here.
Okay.
But yeah, most places, especially if I've not been somewhere. Like I was just up in Ashington in the northeast. I did shot there. But yeah, I'm going to go shoot in New Zealand and Australia and stuff.
Great.
It's tiring. Like it's
yeah.
fun. But it's like an hour super, like I have to be 100% focused and I have to just be looking for things and sort of be ready to make something happen at a moment's notice and sort of get it straight away and formulate the right thing to say in my head. So after about an hour of it, I'm pretty exhausted.
Yep.
But yeah, it's
That must be good in terms of because you were talking about people recognising you now. Because that was the Ali G thing. That's why he had to kind of stop.
Yeah.
Just too many people knew who he was.
Yeah.
So, but when you go to other countries now, but when you go to stuff like Cannes, obviously that's but like New Zealand and Australia and America, there'll be much less chance of people have seen the videos.
Yeah.
Some people will, but
More chance
then-
you'll be shot.
Yeah.
But more anonymity.
that'd be good footage though.
That'll be great viral. Oh my god! If you're like below the head,
My God,
that'd be great.
the video of you getting shot, I would wank myself dry. You watching it again, Mark? Shut up, Amy.
You will have a premiere party in the house for that. Get everybody around. Where are you on the tour? Like, is in, are you at the start of the tour? Middle?
Yeah, so we are. Where am I? I'm going Auckland, Brisbane, Sydney, Perth, Melbourne, Adelaide, and then coming back doing the Netherlands. A couple of dates. I think we're doing like Utrecht and Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and then USA and Canada in like April, May. Like probably just following your footsteps. Yeah, I love Australia.
I love it.
Everyone's happier, they're healthier. Everyone's like, you know, just they get up at 5, go to the gym before work, and everyone's chilled out. And yeah, I love it.
Mark, you touring at the minute?
No, starting again in November. So I've got so I'll be doing November, and then second in November, December, and then February, March, April next year.
You gonna come over here?
Yeah, I'm gonna come over. Yeah. Doing Lavery's.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's where I shot my last bit.
It looks great as well.
Low ceiling.
Yeah.
Keeps all the energy in. It's great.
I've got a weird thing with Edinburgh this year though, because this will be the first time ever we're going to just do a half run.
Yeah.
And it's largely because of Oasis. Like I realised, because I've got tickets for all 3 shows, I can't go. Like I can't take a Friday and a Saturday night off at the Fringe. Yeah. So I'm going to have to do the second half.
Yeah,
And
because like people are like, I've seen so many performers forums and stuff where people are like, fuck, like why have they done this to us? Oasis.
Yeah, I know,
You know what I mean? They're like,
I know.
Oasis have something against the
I know.
Fringe.
I know.
You know, but I'm hopefully going to see them in Dublin.
Class. I really hope there will be some crossover of audiences. Like I really hope a load of like Oasis fans from Kilmarnock are up for the full day, trying to find something to do before they get Just 80 of them sitting in some.
See like a wee spoken word.
Some guy talking through his recent diagnosis. They're doing Ket at the back.
Guys, thanks very much for coming on.
Have
a great show
pleasure,
tonight,
man.
and the States will be great.
Can't wait.
And Australia, I love Australia.
Where'd you get that top?
I got sent this
It's class.
by I don't know what the thing. All something football,
All of football.
maybe. So these guys do a collab with all these different clubs and brands, and this is the Guinness one.
Nice.
Art of Football.
Art of football.
They sent me this.
That's real class.
Nice,
I
isn't
like
it?
that a lot, yeah.
You want it?
What?
You want it?
That one,
I'll give you it
one?
right now. Yeah.
That'll never fit
Yeah,
me
that's
in
true.
there.
Milo, Mark, thanks very much for coming on the pod.
Cheers.
Thank you,
lads.
man. Cheers.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Sippers get ready. People get ready.